I am actually like speechless. So I just got laid off from my job.
I was at work today and someone handed in their CV and we had a little look at it, and this person graduated University of Auckland with civil engineering, is currently doing their masters, had 4 internships and is applying for a retail job. So I don't think it's like people don't want to work. It's that there are literally no jobs for them. This person, overqualified, like genuinely so intelligent, has done so many things, is settling for a retail job. Like that's fucked, right? This person who can work as an engineer simply can't because there's not enough jobs.
This guy says graduated over a year ago, still no job, and not gonna lie, kind of cooked. Especially how you have sent close to 1,000 applications. Very limited amount of interviews. Like seriously, I hate this job market. Like everyone is in a constant state of interviews. And the most recent job report is terrible. Like companies are no longer adding as many jobs as before. You know, a lot of it is from AI, but a lot of it is also from the crappy economy. You know, this guy's like, yeah, how long did it take you to get a job after getting fired? This guy says took 9 months. That's pretty difficult, and these are going to be the lucky guys. Sent out nearly 300 plus applications, because I know a lot of friends who were unemployed for more than a year. They've sent out over 1,000 applications on LinkedIn and Indeed, because that's all they do at home. When you don't have a job, all you do at home is apply for work, and they just can't get a job. And a lot of people are kind of saying that with the job market being this bad, your college degree is basically worthless. Check out some of these videos.
So I just did an interview, and the person interviewing me told me that there were 600 applicants, and out of the 600 applicants, they only selected 8 resumes, and one of those resumes was mine. So wish me luck that I was better than 7 other candidates.
So I was just working at my job, and I got sent home. Not for messing up orders or doing anything wrong, but for being too helpful. Apparently I got on a lot of people's nerves trying to help them, and they sent me home because of it. Apparently many people complained that I was being too helpful. I work in fast food. I thought that was the whole objective. I didn't say anything inappropriate. I didn't say anything that would like cringe. I just don't understand why I'm being sent home. I'm being punished. My paycheck is going to be less because of this. This is the job market today, where if you go above and beyond, you get sent home early. What are the odds? And I'm going to go home and cry now because I feel like I'm not good enough for McDonald's. So, how's your weekend going?
I'm not going to post this unless I get the job, but I just finished my interview. And it was roughly about 20 minutes. And she's gonna send me over to the supervisor over her. And I have a second interview, and I just really want to get this. I just really want to get this. And I'm going to continue to put in applications, and hopefully I can get something I can also do during the days, and I just want it to work out. I told myself I would post it if I got the job, because I know that I have some of my followers that are going through similar situations, and I know that people are really struggling out here, and I did get the job, and I'm so grateful. And if nothing else, I just want to tell you not to give up, because temporary situations do change. And yeah, love you guys.
Baby, I am not being cocky when I say this, but I have never struggled this hard to find a decent paying fucking job in this economy. Like, this makes no sense how bad jobs say they're hiring and they don't really be hiring, or they hiring and they want to pay the very least when bills are way more than the pay that they're giving you. And like, I'm not one of the people that I try to be ungrateful, but it's like certain pay levels I just can't see myself going back to, because I got real fucking bills. So it's like, if I'm struggling with this amount that I had before, you want me to go $5 less? I just can't see myself doing that. Like, I'd rather do Uber, and I'd rather do all these little side hustles, and I'd rather just do hair and, you know, just make the money like that before I settle myself and commit to a job that's paying $14 an hour. Sorry. Like, I just feel like bills are too fucking high for any job out here to pay anybody lower than what the fuck they are. And then most of them jobs that pay low, they want you to work fucking major labor. And I got fucking experience in other fucking fields. So it's like I just can't see myself lowballing myself just because I need a job. Like, but it's so fucking annoying, bro, because I feel like I done applied for over 100 fucking positions. And yeah, it's like either they moving on to other candidates, either the pay is very little, there's no benefits, or like the schedule is like working some crazy hour, and me being a mom is like I gotta also think about my kid and all this other stuff. So, you know, it's a lot. It's really a lot. I can't lie, it's a lot. But I'm gonna continue to keep my faith. I know God is preparing me for the better. I know God hears my prayers and he hears my cries. So I know if not today, one day I will have that job that I want. I will have that career that I want. I will have that pay that I want. I will have the benefits that I want. I will be able to grow with the company that I want. And I know in due time it will do that. And I will get that. But in the meantime, I'm going to continue to do every little other hustle to make sure that me and my son has money, to make sure that me and my son is good. And that's all that matters. But the fucking job markets out here suck.
So, I got laid off yesterday. Feels so weird to even say that because this has never happened to me. I've never gotten fired from a job. I've never gotten laid off. I've always really left a job on my own terms. So this is something that I feel like I'm kind of struggling with and trying to get through right now. But let's start at the beginning. I started this job about 2.5 months ago. And from the jump, I will say I really enjoyed the work that I was doing, but I also transitioned from working hybrid and coming into the office one day to going into the office 5 days a week, somewhere that is actually an hour and a half away from me. The goal originally was to sell my house because I currently live in Reading, and if you're familiar with the Reading to Philadelphia area, it's kind of a hike. Was to sell my house back in November, October. However, that just did not work out. We are putting our house back up on the market in March. So the original goal is still the same goal to move. However, it just didn't happen in a timely manner. I will say that I started this job under the premise that I was going to be moving closer to the Philadelphia area. And I knew that the commute wasn't going to be awful forever. However, the commute was kind of crazy. So I would be spending an upwards of like 2.5 hours per day, if not more, just sitting in a commute, sitting in traffic, getting to and from work. As far as why I was laid off, I think, honestly, it was like a mismatched fit between me and my supervisor. I will say that this has been the worst supervisor I've ever had in my entire life. And this is not just me trying to bash anybody or speaking out of anger or being upset. I just honestly think that I've had a bunch of crazy managers in my day, and this supervisor has never made the effort to talk to me, ask me how I'm doing in the job, tell me what she wants me to do in the job, or provide me any kind of support or access. I've been unemployed before for sure, but I left on my own terms. I've never had unemployment, but now I'm really getting on it. So I'm going to be seeing how that works and seeing how that will sustain me. But yeah, I think this is a blessing in disguise. I was really burnt out at the end of the day. I would come into work early every single day. I would be in at 7 a.m. I would have to get up at 5 a.m. every single morning. I would go to sleep at 8 p.m., 9 p.m. because I still struggle with depression. I'm off my medication, and sleep is really important to me to maintain my mental health. And that was something that I really needed to prioritize. So by the time I would get home, I would have about 2.5, 3 hours to maybe eat dinner, spend alone time, spend time with my boyfriend, spend time with my animals, and just do everything I needed to do before I had to get ready for work again the next day. And that was like on a loop 5 days a week. So that by the time the weekend came around, I was so burnt out and exhausted and anxious thinking about the next week that honestly, it was just kind of turning me into a different person. As I used to think money was the most important thing to me, but I think I realized that after the end of this day, I think my work-life balance and my mental health is more important to me because I was overworked, not even overworked, but just so burnt out to the point where I just felt like I didn't want to worry or do anything else. I didn't even celebrate my birthday. I didn't want to do anything. Honestly, I went to work on my birthday because I didn't want to seem like a slacker, and didn't even get to really do anything. I got lunch with my girlfriends, but that was like a week later because I just felt like it was awful for me not to do something to celebrate my birthday. But I love my birthday. I always have. And not doing something and not being even excited for it has kind of showed me that I'm like, who am I turning into? And like, this is someone that I don't even like really anymore. Taking a break from working is actually going to be really, really nice. It's going to give me the mental break that I've kind of needed for a long time. It's also going to ensure that I have more time to do things that I do really enjoy, which is content creation. So if you see me posting videos about products on TikTok Shop, mind your business and please support in any way that you can, because honestly my number one dream at this point is to really be able to be a full-time content creator, to make money off of TikTok Shop, to monetize off of TikTok, to really work with brands. And yeah, that's always been my dream for a long time, but I just never thought it was possible until the last year where I kind of really started growing my TikTok account. I'm almost at 6,000 followers at this point, which is insane to me. But I don't know, things happen, especially when you work on them. So I'm actually really excited to take this time to really pour more into my social media and try harder at doing this, because I have made some money off TikTok Shop, given it was like $15, but it shows me that it's possible, and it shows me that if this is something that I really want, I can just pour my soul into it. In the meantime, though, I am really anxious about not having money and not being able to provide for my family and do everything. I'm very lucky because my boyfriend and I are pretty stable in our finances. We're able to make it some time, and with unemployment too, I feel like I'll be able to kind of breeze by, albeit no spending, which is going to be really hard for me. But I do feel like I'm in a very lucky place right now because I have a really great support system to navigate this time in my life. However, this is something that I do not want to make a habit of, and I do not want to get complacent and comfortable in. So I am looking for jobs, and I'm going to take you guys along with that journey of how the job market is looking. I'm in HR, I'm in recruiting. So I very much know how hard it is to find a good candidate for any kind of roles and how competitive the job market is right now. So we'll see how long it takes me and how long it'll be. But at the same time, there's so many things going on right now because, like I said earlier in the video, we are putting our house back up on the market in March. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to move closer back to the Philly area. I don't know if I'll still be unemployed by that time, but we'll see how it all works. There's just a lot of things to do, and now I'll have so much more time to really dedicate to getting the house together, getting everything cleaned up, working on my content, working on, hobbies, and just kind of figuring out what I want moving forward in terms of my career, my life, and everything really. So I'm just saying, moral of the story is expect a lot more content coming from me. I'm going to be trying to post multiple times a day, just because now I have the time and the freedom to be able to really pursue this full time while I'm looking for a job on top of that. So again, I love you guys. Thank you so much. I personally feel like I've made so much friendships with people online that just genuinely support and are looking to uplift each other up. So I'm super grateful for that. And I love you guys, and I'm excited to see what happens next.
So this morning I walked into the office and it was weirdly empty. I didn't think much of it, and then I logged on and opened up my email. Immediately saw a 20-minute meeting scheduled on my calendar, and I already know what that meant. I grabbed my stuff and left the office. I was there for maybe 5 minutes at most and came back home. Read my severance package,
God read when I'm going to roll off my benefits. And now here we are on the floor of my living room. And honestly, I am okay. Like I always preach on here that the job market is cooked and to always not put all your eggs in one basket. Is this not a shock? A lot of people are getting laid off these days. And 100%, I'm not taking this to heart of my performance. Or I've literally people that were at my company for more than 12 years were impacted. I was talking to one of my friends about this, but I was telling her, I was like, I have to tell you guys, like I cannot keep creating content and not tell you what is actually happening within my career. And funny enough, I also post content about how to try to get a job. So here I am going to show you guys how I'm going to get my next job. Obviously not happy about what's going on, but I always say that everything happens for a reason and it's in God's plan. So be prepared to be sick of me of laid off girly series coming up.
I don't know if I want to talk about this. So 3 days ago, on my 31st birthday, I was laid off unexpectedly from my job that I had been working at for about 4.5 years.
I'd be sending you information on like California unemployment and like an EDD notice for California, just like really standard exit documents.
Over these past couple of days, I've went through a lot of different emotions. And honestly, I struggled with whether or not I was going to share this, but God convicted me to open up my mouth and to speak on what's going on. On my platform, I talk a lot about how important it is for us to stay in our word in all seasons of life. And no matter how I feel, I can't stray away from that. The two scriptures that have been holding me together and that I've been meditating on are John 16:33 and Isaiah 43:2. When you go through deep waters, I will be with you. When you go through rivers of difficulty, you will not drown. When you walk through the fire of oppression, you will not be burned up. The flames will not consume you. I believe in my heart God's promise. And instead of allowing the enemy to overcome my thoughts and make me see this as a bad thing, I choose to see the good in this because I know that God is not trying to destroy me. God is using this to develop me. And I'm so excited about what God has next for me in this new chapter of my life and what God has next for you in this new chapter of your life. Because it took for this to get me out of my comfort zone and go. And I feel free and I'm excited. And I'm excited to share this new chapter with y'all. Bye.
Hi guys. I keep seeing videos talking about how bad the job market is, so I figured it was time for me to get on here and talk about what I do for work, to share some insight, because what I do is something that anyone can do. If you're struggling and you're looking for a job, watch this video. So a little bit of background on me before I tell you what I do exactly. I come from the restaurant industry. I did 9 hard years. I freaking love the restaurant industry. It will always have a part of me. I've done every position. I've been a barista all the way up to a GM. I've opened a bar. I ran a distillery's tasting room. You know, I've done everything. I worked my way up the ladder. And, you know, the thing about the restaurant industry is that you make really good money, but it comes at a cost. You know, I was working really late nights. I was working 12 hours on my feet. I didn't really have a work to life balance, especially when I was working in management, and the ceiling was glass. I felt like, okay, this is as like high up as I'm gonna go. What am I doing? You know, I don't have a college education. There's nothing that I was really like drawn to do. So I took a risk, and what I do now is I work in life insurance. This industry has such a rap to it. Like everyone is like, oh, we're scammers and it's a pyramid scheme and an MLM. And I mean, I think terrible people exist in this industry like any other industry, but there's also like really good companies out there. I have worked for 2 different types of companies. The first company I worked for is a huge corporation that everyone knows about because of how much advertising they do. I'm not going to name them. Dead end ass fucking job. I wasted months of my time. It's okay though, they helped me get licensed and my coworkers were really great, but the job itself fucking sucked. I made not a single dollar in months and I worked a lot. So don't do that. But I work for a company called Unitrust now. And basically the lead generation, the mentorship, the support, the training, the resources are phenomenal. Everything that Unitrust does, they do it really, really well. And I'm so grateful to be a part of this team. There is a link in my bio. I'm looking to hire agents, especially if you're coming from the restaurant industry and you don't think you can get out of it. Think about life insurance. Do some research. Look into it. There's a link in my bio. Book a call with me. We'll talk for 30 minutes. I'll give you the rundown. This is the most accessible industry. And if you are motivated and you are driven and you want to own your own business and own your own agency, what's stopping you? Do it now. Anyways, if you have any questions, comment them below.
I'm going to say it because no one else will. I've seen online how everyone's saying that the job market in 2026 is going to be the most difficult. No one can get a job. And I was just saying how a lot of people who are especially my age, like I just graduated in May. Before my senior season of soccer, I was training all summer long, like on top of an internship, like on top of everything. Every single day in the summer, I had this insane Google Excel sheet, and it would just have like I would LinkedIn message people at least like 10 a day saying like, can I speak with you? Because I originally wanted to work in sports, and then I came to find out there's absolutely no money in sports unless you're the player, obviously. So I'm bored of that, but I learned because I literally would have this Excel sheet, and it would have literally hundreds of people I talked to. I would say 100 to be realistic. It would have the person's name, if they answered my LinkedIn message, because then I would send another one if they didn't answer. And honestly, all these people end up answering. And then it would just have everything organized. If I talked to the person, what they said, I scrolled through. The job I'm at right now, none of those people were even at that company. But it took that many people and that much to learn from. Also, all the time, like if you're applying to a job, you're not going to get it. You need to talk to someone within the company in order to go. That's just how it is. And everyone's like, oh, you have to know someone. It's not like, for example, for me, my parents are both in the medical field, and obviously I work in business. So that wasn't going to help me. And I didn't know anyone per se, because all their friends are also like in the medical world and my medical field. So I would just LinkedIn message all these people, and that's how you're going to build your network. But I think people right now are just too freaking lazy. Like, go on LinkedIn, message these people, have it organized in an Excel sheet, and then and if this way, like in a year or two, if you're like, oh, I do want to work in sports again, you can go back, find that person you talked to, be like, oh, I talked to you at this time. Like all these people, like I still keep in touch with, like it's good to have just in case, but that's how much it's going to take. And then that's also the only way you're going to get it. If you think you're going online to apply for a job and you're just going to get it by a literal application, I mean, if you have, like, congrats, but you're probably in the 1%. Also, with AI right now, everyone's resumes are spectacular. Like, if your resume is not good, that's probably on you. We literally have AI, can do the whole thing for you. So I think overall, I know that everyone's saying, like, oh, you need to know someone, this person knew that, their dad knew this person. No. Go on LinkedIn, message people who work there. These people are getting paid. If you get a job, they're getting paid to refer you.
Has anybody been to their local grocery store and checked out the price of meat lately? Specifically beef. You know, natural, no antibiotic added, grass-fed, free range. All the steaks in your grocery store. $20 for ribeyes, $22 New York strip, $29 a pound for fillets that just 2 or 3 years ago were half the price. I am convinced what the government has done and private businesses have done is they are making natural foods so expensive that 99% of us just have to buy the cheap stuff. They have now outpriced being healthy in the United States. So all of us that have complained that we shouldn't be eating, preservatives, antibiotics, all the things in our food, now we can't afford not to. So they've won. It's too expensive to be healthy in the United States now.
The job market in 2026 is complete shit. I know of so many people out here that are trying to find work, including myself, and no one will hire us. AI is slowly but surely going to take over, and within the next couple of years, they're most likely going to 100% replace all of us. And it's like a lot of us kind of hit this point of not really seeing the point, because we know if we work a job, we're just going to be trapped in this endless cycle of pain and misery and poverty. A lot of us have kind of just gotten to a point where we're saying screw it, doing our own thing, trying to figure out other ways to make money, other ways to make income, hanging by a thread, and just trusting that the universe is somehow going to guide us through all of this. Because after you spend a majority of your time on Indeed, putting in job applications, going through all these interview processes, and you never hear back from anybody, it just kind of makes you lose hope. And after you go through all these interviews and they offer you like $14 an hour starting out, knowing it doesn't match the astronomically high cost of living, it genuinely makes you question, what is the point?
The fact that instant coffee is $10 really pisses me off. And I went to 2 or 3 stores just to test it out. And I had to take my black ass right back to the Dollar Tree because these are $1. Then they went up to $1.25. Then they went up to $1.50. Then $1.75. Now they're $2. So I went ahead and bought me 2 of these and some creamer. And I'm just like, why are we not rioting? Like this right here. Why is this same size in the store $10, $12, $13 for some fucking instant coffee? I'm finna get my ass out of this country because I'm just pissed off about everything and I'm sick of it.